What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to talk about the four teams Jarome Iginla, will accept a trade to. The Boston Bruins, Pittsburgh Penguins, LA Kings, and Chicago Blackhawks. He's got no movement clause, but he'll waive it to go to one of those four teams. All of them have great shots at the Stanley Cup, as good as shots as any team in the league. Obviously, Pittsburgh is number one team in the East. Chicago's number one team in the West. LA and Boston have won the last two Stanley Cups, so they're for real. And I think he'd definitely be the X factor and get any of those teams over the top. Right now, I'd have to say the Bruins and LA would be the two best fits for him. I think Chicago's got too much good chemistry to. You're not going to risk, because Jerome's such a great locker room presence, a great player. I don't think you want to disrupt that chemistry to bring him in. And like I said, he's not the kind of guy that's going to mess anything up. He's really one of the classiest guys in the league and truly an elite player even at his age. And Pittsburgh, they need help on defense. I understand him and Crosby played together at the Olympics in Vancouver 3 years ago, and he had the assist on the golden goal to sit the kid. But I think they should concentrate on getting some defense. Shoring up defensively, maybe getting a guy that can move the puck, and then that'll increase their efficiency, but their forward efficiency, and cut back on the goals against. I think that'll be a better 2-for-1 deal for them. And even though Crosby's on the line with Kunitz and Dupuis, not exactly Brett Hull and Gordie Howe, they're playing great, that line. And then when Malkin comes back, the Neal line's great, and they've got depth down the middle, and I think the wings are all set. I think if they can get Iginla on the cheap, which getting Jarome Iginla on the cheap, it ain't gonna happen. I think Pittsburgh will definitely kick the tires on him, and I think if Crosby were to walk in the front office, in a sheriff's office, and say, "I want Iggy," I think it would behoove them to get a Iggy. He hasn't had a truly elite winger since Marian Hossa 5 years ago. Jesus, now I'm dating myself. And I think to the other two teams, to LA and to Boston, I think LA could definitely use some more size on the wing. I think he can help that team get over the hump, push them past Anaheim. I think Anaheim's got the Pacific Division locked up, but I think they can, in a playoff series, he could be the X factor that gets them past Anaheim. Obviously, having John Quick between the pipes, And I think LA definitely can repeat. I think they're in as good a shape as any team in the league to repeat as the Stanley Cup champions. And, I think they got off to a slow start that maybe cost them the division. But I think they could definitely take down either Anaheim or Chicago with their already assembled roster. And I think definitely, again, can put them over the top. Then with the Bruins, they're behind the Habs in the standings. They still think they're a better team than the Habs, top to bottom. And then in terms of where he'd fit in that lineup, I'd move either Horton or Lucic off that first line with Krejci. That first line is too inconsistent, and I think it would, really would even out the scoring, because Horton, if you put Horton on your third line, the third line's been atrocious. The only consistent line has been the second line. The second line with Bergeron, Marchand, Sagan. If you put Horton on that third line, that solidifies that line, and then gives you an elite winger with Krejci and Lucic on the other side. Or maybe even move Horton over to the left, or Iginla over to the left. I don't know if either one. I think Iginla definitely could do it. I don't know about Horton. But, I definitely think either Horton or Lucic needs to move off that line. I think, there's too much inconsistency going on over there. Plus, neither one of them was playing during the lockout, so their timing was off early in the season, though they were playing pretty well. But, I definitely think if you put Iginla on that first line and then have either Horton or Lucic on your third line, depth-wise, you get the best forward core in the NHL, and it's not even close. And then you put Peverley or, whoever on the fourth line. It'd be, put Peverley, Kelly, and Iginla as your third line. Something to think about if you're close, but I think you can get him for some B-level prospects and some picks. Calgary should have moved him 2 years ago. The Bruins were kicking the tires on him 2 years ago. The year before they won the Stanley, actually 3 years ago, 2010. The summer before they won the Stanley Cup. When they made the Horton deal. Well, that was because they couldn't get Iginla. Calgary had him on the market, then pulled him off, and I think Calgary's rebuilding process would have been expedited with Iginla, traded some picks and assets, brought back I think Joe Colborne. And some draft picks, maybe even pick that turned out to be Sagan. I don't think they would have given that pick up, but you never know. And so Cal, he gets out of it. I think it's like the Ray Bork deal. Give your franchise player a chance to win the Stanley Cup. And maybe he goes back to Calgary at the end in July. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all this episode of the Power Play with CJ on Jarome Iginla's 4 listed trade destinations. Stay tuned for more episodes to the season and beyond. Later, guys.